everybody. Jim, let's get your thoughts on what Mr. Guyton's been saying.
Right. Well, first, I think that he's saying all the right things, which is that, you don't want to short-selling bans tend to be wrong, whatever. But I also listen to him, and I think he's an adult. I don't like what I hear out of Germany, which is just a lot of yakking. But if Geithner's right, which is that there really is no huge crisis, and we don't get some Lehman Brothers within the next 48 hours out of Europe, I'm beginning to think that we're going to become a little more inured to how bad Europe is. Just accept the fact that what's going to happen is there's austerity. Don't be that excited about that market. Maybe that market does less business. But we need a collapse there. If it doesn't happen soon, it might not happen. It may just be bad. And, we've had PEs lowered dramatically in this country because it's bad over there and because we expect the worst. I'm just saying, what happens if it's just bad? What happens if the euro continues to just go down a little bit each day? We don't get a huge new crisis. The Germans in the legislature back the plan, and something bad has to happen soon is what I'm saying, or else this market's going to go higher. Something bad has to happen because we're going to get financial regulation reform, and it's not hurting. Dodd is basically giving into the big banks.
What do you think about the stall of the vote here?
Excuse me?
What do you think about the stall of the vote here on the FinReg?
I think it's a good sign. I think it's, good sign if you're along the banks. Let me be very careful here. If you're against the banks, it's not a good sign. But I think that they've gotten the message. I think that the lobbyist banking issue has been saying, if you go with the derivatives stripped out, that is just a big bailout for the Germans and for the Swiss. You buy Deutsche Bank, you buy UBS, if Blanche Lincoln's right. I didn't know she's the senator from Germany. She's running, she thinks that she's helping her populist cause, but she's creating a great German bank in Deutsche Bank. I think that's starting to dawn on people. I know that there are very key lobbyists who are saying that. I think financial regulation delay is all about, and the stocks are telling you what's happening. The worst is over. The worst is over financial regulation. Again, so if you don't get an event, a Lehman Brothers 2 in Europe in 48 hours, those stocks are going to go up.
Why do you think the worst is over?
Why? Because Dodd, I'm reading the Washington Post this morning, and Dodd basically is saying, look, we're going to let the Fed handle it. Geithner is certainly not saying that Geithner and Bernanke are very much the adults that are the only two things that make me bullish at all in the world right now. I mean, Bernanke releases the minutes. They're like fabulous, okay? The market goes down. It's like, okay, enough. I know everything's bad. But you know what? Sometimes Bernanke, but you're fighting the Fed right here. You're fighting Geithner if you hate stocks. And Geithner and Bernanke, who are important, are not for giving all the business to UBS and Deutsche Bank, which is what Blanche Lincoln would do. It's what Dodd is worried about. So I'm not crafting a blowaway thesis here. I am saying Hewlett-Packard was great. Deere was great. Intel is going higher. Oil seems to have stabilized at 70. We now need a Lehman 2 to figure out why we're so nervous, because the price-to-earnings multiples of our country have come down so much. Like Goldman had a call yesterday that says that there's 20% earnings risk. What happens if there's only 15% earnings risk because of what Dodd did, or 10%? These stocks have gone down far more than 20%.
Talking of a Lehman 2, I'm just going to play the devil's advocate.
I'm looking for Lehman 2. We better get a Lehman 2 real soon.
I don't know the answer, but just to play the devil's advocate,
okay.
I mean, at the beginning of the subprime crisis, there were so many people who said, look, it's really only a drop in the ocean.
Right.
It's a very small part of the market, and look what happened there. Only a few weeks ago, people were saying Greece is only a very small economy. This is not going to fan out. It's only a drop in the ocean. I mean, there are a lot of parallels being made here.
I think that it is horrible in Europe. I think it's horrible, okay? I think you're right. I mean, Hewlett-Packard said things were not so bad in Europe, which is great. That was true, but I think it's horrible in Europe. I am not saying anything good. I'm saying that it's just going to be austerity. Their economies are going to slow dramatically. You're not going to be able to sell much in there. But we need to see a collapse of a major country or several banks in order to justify the
And you reckon the authorities have got their back? You believe in the authorities?
No, I don't believe in the authorities at all. I think they're a bunch of jokers over there. Trichet's not doing anything. They should be slashing interest rates to zero. Merkel's not done anything. They've been dithering. But I'm saying that the market is prepared for Lehman 2. And if you don't get a Lehman 2 and all you do is get a slowdown and the euro continuing to drip down, that our stocks may not be so horrible. Well, we need to see a collapse over there. This is not a collapse. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Jim, we've got so much more of you coming up later on tonight on Mad Money, 6 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on CNBC.